All right, starting it up. I think we got, let's see, the audio's working. All right, cool. Audio's working. Everything's good. Haven't been streaming a whole lot lately. I was really like thinking I'd be able to like stream like this whole portfolio process, but there's been like a lot of late nights when I feel like I just need to get stuff done because it's due tomorrow, and I have to like just focus on the work and not so much trying to throw together like an entertaining stream. But we're back. We're going to be doing some more stuff today. Mainly what we're going to be doing today, and actually I always feel like I need to explain what I'm doing. If you guys aren't familiar with me, my name is Jonathan. I'm a graphic design student. And today, or actually the sort of stream series that I've been working on is putting together my graphic design portfolio. And what that mainly includes is me putting together what I've been doing a lot on the streams are putting together a book. So I'm actually making like a hardcover portfolio book, something that all my projects can go into. Other things that I'm going to be doing down the road, or kind of in the next couple days actually, are working on a website, something called the Leave Behind, which is going to be like a small little newspaper thing that I'm doing. Other people have done other things like postcards or like a tiny little booklet, but I felt like a newspaper would be kind of more of a fun thing, and it doesn't sound like it's very designery, like, oh, a newspaper, like that's not very designery, but there's this great website called the Newspaper Club, and you can put together pretty much any sort of design you want, send it to them, and they print it out on a newspaper. There's two different types of paper. One's more newspaper, one's like a less quality regular white paper. Anyways, it's gonna look good is kind of the main point that I'm trying to make. So I've been doing the layout for the book, but I have to put stuff into the book. I have to put things in the book. So I just finished, or actually, I think it was a week or so ago, I finished photographing a beer project that I did, a beer package design project. And I need to go through and edit the photos. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is just taking these photos, and you guys can kind of watch my photo editing process. I think a lot more goes into editing some photos than most people think. So there's kind of like the regular photo editing that most people do, and then there's what I'm going to be doing today, and there's like professional photo editing, which I don't have the time to do that. Plus, when it's printed out on a book, you're not going to notice the small little details that you would notice if it was blown up on a 5K monitor. So anyways, I completely over-explained all this. Today I'm just going to be using Photoshop to edit photos. I could have said that. Alright, so I'll get into it here. Let me, I'll just kind of go through the whole process from start to beginning, so it's very raw. Alright, so Photoshop, right? Here it is. Woo! I have some photos that I've edited, or not edited. I have some raw photos that I've taken. So, what I'm going to be doing basically is I have several different photos, all of the same subject, that I took with a tripod, and I'm going to composite them into one image. So you'll kind of see what I mean by that in a little bit. I'm just going to open up this first photo here. I've already edited one of the... Here, I'll show you what I did so far. Okay. So this is one photo that I took. This is the photo that I took straight off the camera. You can see how I have like the little reflector thing in the back still. Or the diffuser, I mean. And then after an hour or so of editing, I was able to get to something like this. So I was able to Photoshop out that reflector. The exposure all throughout the photo is kind of more or less where I want it to be. This isn't to say this is the best photo, but I mean, it looks a lot better than this photo here. Now this one here, you can see in the background, my black background wasn't big enough to cover the whole thing, so I had a dark gray, and then I had a black background, and I kind of had them overlapping, and it probably wasn't the best decision on my part, but it's what I came up with at the time, and I kind of got to deal with that because that's what my photos are at now. So I was able to Photoshop that out. You can kind of see that line disappearing. I used a gradient to kind of smooth the color. This bottle here, I photoshopped that. I had a smudge on the label, so I photoshopped out the smudge. This was another shot that I did. This was the shot straight off the camera, and then this is what I was able to do after some editing. So this one here took me the longest because I went through and I I used the diffuser on every single bottle to have that smooth light go through. So if you look at the shadows on the labels, or the shadows on the bottle, here, this is the final edited one. It's very smooth. And if you look at the one before, it's harsh. So I wanted to fix that. I also brightened up the labels, brightened up this sort of taster glass, and then over here in the bottom left corner, you can't see it here yet. The bottom left corner here, the little concrete slab doesn't extend off to the photo, so I just photoshopped that out and made it look like it was going off frame. So because that was a little tangent before, and you don't want to have things like that in your photo. So I've done 2 photos. I have 5 to go, but they're not going to be as intense as those other ones. So this one here is going to be pretty straightforward to do. So what I would need to do is I'm just going to kind of go through my raw editing little thing here. So I like to remove the chromatic aberration and profile correction. And the chromatic aberration are the, I don't know if it's going to be that big of a difference here. Not really, but sometimes when you take a photo, there's like a blue and pink little outline, and that's called chromatic aberration, and then that's not really something you want to have in your photo. This other thing, profile correction, is it just kind of fixes the vignetting or the warping that the lens has on the camera. That the lens has on the photo, I mean. So yeah. Really quick, let me just, I need to check something out. Figure out how much editing I actually have to do. Oh, I need to do it, never mind. I was going to see how this is laid out in my book. Do I need to actually crop out or fix that the background line or not? But I think I do. So this exposure here is just going to be kind of a generic exposure for the bottle. Not so much these shadows, but just for like the overall bottleness, the bottle. So I'm just going to kind of play with the sliders to get that. Because I'm going to be going through and masking that diffused light on top of this. So this is more or less just, I really don't even know what this exposure is for, really. Maybe just the background. I like that a little bit of what I call vibration on this, the vibrance and saturation. So, and then if I bring the shadow up a little bit. I think that looks okay. So I'm going to open that up. And then what I'm going to be just doing now is I'm just going to be doing that same thing for all the different photos that I took. And then putting that on top of this image here. So I think I'm just going to bring in like at least 2 different exposures, and I'm just going to Photoshop that on top in a little bit. So maybe 2 or 3. I don't know if I want to keep that there or not. So this is the other one that I took. I have a couple of this one, so which one looks better? Oh. I think the first one looks better, so I'm going to bring that in. And the main thing that I need to do with this is just do the chromatic aberration and the profile corrections again. Because if I don't do the profile corrections, then this is not going to be warped like the other one was. I mean, that sounds like a negative thing, but it's not really. I think I have a better one, actually. Oh, no, that's the back. Dang it. No worries. I think, actually... Nah. Okay, anyways, sorry. I'm thinking. The thing I didn't like was how this kind of comes down here and it doesn't go all the way down the side. So, but I mean, like, this one doesn't either. You have to get it really close. And I mean, like I said, I'm not like the professional photographer, so it's not the end of the world if it's like that, but Maybe I can do some layering in a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of do this. And a little bit of clarity. Clarity kind of sharpens everything up. You don't want to go too much because then it gets like this really like Michael Bay looking effect. Which, I mean, it's cool if you're going for it, but it's not really ideal. You see it just like kind of what clarity does. It kind of like adds like an overlay, contrasty, sharpness effect to everything. I think that looks fine. Maybe bring the whites up a little bit. Highlights. I don't want to mess with highlights too much because this is for the highlights. So now we're just going to merge these files together. There we go. So all I did was these two photos are on top of each other. I reduced the layer on top to 50% so that way I can line them up, and having this big bold sharp text is perfect for lining it up because you can tell when it's good. Because now look, when I just swap the two layers, they're in the exact same spot. And you can just see how that light looks a lot better this way. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. This one here actually looks really good. So, and then same thing that we did before. So, I mean, once you kind of get the idea of what you need to do, it's very kind of easy to do this. It's time consuming is really what it is. It's not like a difficult process unless you really got to do some Photoshop work, but if you do things right, you don't really need to do a whole lot of Photoshop work. Like if I had the proper tools and everything for this, I wouldn't have to have put my diffuser this close. I could have already had an oversized softbox and then had done it that way, but I don't have that, and I'm not about to spend that much money on something that I'm only going to use for one project. So instead of spending $500 or so to get all the stuff that I need, I'm just spending a little bit of extra time in Photoshop, which I don't mind because I actually have a lot of fun doing this. I think it's cool. A lot of people hate this. A lot of people just, and then, I mean, that's the thing that I thought was nuts, is a lot of people at my school, like, not that anyone's bad, but it's just amazing, like, how many people don't have these Photoshop skills at a graphic design school. It's nuts. Alright, so I did the two diffused sides. I also have another exposure here for the wood. This one here might be a little bit too dark and muddy. This, yeah, that was for the back end. That's a different shot completely. All right. So I guess we'll just start with this. Oh, the label. I mean, I have another exposure for the label. Well, I hope I do. I should. There we go. So on this one here, I actually brought up a white piece of foam board and just put it really close up to the label, so that way it would reflect the light back onto the label and brighten it up. So this one here is for the label. We'll bring that up, contrast, and the highlights down a little bit. Shadows, won't mess with that. Whites up, blacks, we'll bring that down. Alright, I think that looks good. And like when you ask me like how do I know how much contrast to add or how much of this do I need to add? I really don't know the right answer for you. I mean, I know some things that you should always kind of do. I mean, but I even have a hard time saying that because you really never know what you need to add until you see the photo. Every photo is different. I don't have like one formula that works for every single photo. Across multiple projects, I mean, when I'm working on the same project and everything's shot with the same white balance and it's all from the same angle with the same lighting, you kind of get to know what you need to do for each one. That's why I'm able to go through these ones so fast. But for the most part, everything is just really on a case-by-case basis. So I'm going to save this. And there's something that most people are probably thinking to do first, which is to fix the crop. Because the top right is a little bit higher than the left, which is just my tripod being a little crooked. But I'm going to do that at the very end, because I don't want to do all this editing and then realize that I want to add a different exposure on top of this. Because if I crop it, then it's going to mess up the alignment for all my other exposures. So I'm just going to do all my editing first, and then at the very end, when I'm happy with it, then I'll go back and then crop it. So this really that's not the end of the world. Alright. Let's just label all these here. Label, right light, left light, and then the background is what it is. So we're just now we're just gonna mask everything. Refreshing to see on or I'll just read this. Hey dude, I pop in from time to time when you're playing your replays. Refreshing to see on Twitch and strangely calming. Just so you know, there is a stranger watching you. Oh, okay. Sounds good to me. Thank you for stopping by, even though you are a stranger. That's cool. I guess that's what you I mean, I'm not expecting. It's weird, right? Like if someone, like in real life, right? If someone's watching you and you have no idea who the hell that person is, but they're just kind of like staring at you or watching what you're doing, that's weird. That's like call the cops shit. But on the internet, it's the exact opposite. It's kind of weird. Like, oh, mom, you're watching me on Twitch, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or even like your friends are watching you on Twitch. It's kind of weird, right? Because you like want to have this alternate ego or something like that. But anyway, I just think it's funny, or at least for me, that's how I feel. Or at least that's how I felt when I first started making videos back in like 2010, making like Modern Warfare videos. And now so much that I've gotten older, it's harder to embarrass me, I guess. It is what it is. Oh, you watched the Helvetica documentary? Well, look at this. I don't know if you're gonna think this is funny or not, but my shirt's in the way, or the mic's in the way. I have this. This is like a nerdy design shirt. This is a designer T-shirt. It uses Helvetica and it's black. That's like the stereotypical thing for a designer, right? Is to use Helvetica. Oddly enough, that's what I'm actually using in my my portfolio. I'm using Helvetica Neue, which some people pronounce as Helvetica New, but it's actually pronounced Helvetica Neue. But anyways, that's what I'm using for my my portfolio. But oh no, this is way up too high. Everything does look better in black and white, right? And I think that comes from me liking photography, and I do a lot of my own photography, obviously, with this, but I also do nature photography, and I have a hard time like finding the use for color, because I feel like anything that you do in color could just easily like look better in black and white. But I know that's like the biggest thing that I've had to fix as a designer, is I know that's just a personal preference, and you can't be going into a project with your own personal preferences. And in reality, there is a lot of benefit to having color in your projects. It has never been my thing is to like know which color palette to use and like have a really good sense of color. I mean, like this project here was done for a package design class, and This was for my midterm for the package design class, and my labels were blue, orange, and purple. And without even knowing it, like subconsciously or just, I didn't realize this until the day of the final, so it was like 9 weeks after this one was finished, that my final project was 3 boxes. One was blue, one was orange, and one was purple. I used the exact same color palette for both of my projects in this class, and I had no idea that I even did that. To me, it's all about a basis. If it functions well in black and white, and how it contrasts, and you can explore whatever color additions you want. True, very, very true. And that's something that I've had to do with, I mean, I've known that, but it's something I've really had to do with my portfolio chapter openers. If you've been watching all of my old replays for a while now, you know how long I've struggled with these freaking chapter openers on this portfolio. And everything that I do, I always have to start in black and white, because if it doesn't work in black and white, then it's not going to work in color. And something else too that I've noticed is or as a design tip, I would say, is I totally lost my train of thought. What the heck? Maybe I was gonna say start sketching first, because if you, oh, okay, that's the thing, is if you start sketching first, I do all my designs on paper first before I start doing it on the computer, because it's a lot easier to fall in love with a design on the computer than it is with a sketch. At a sketch, you can really tell if it's working or not. On the computer, you more or less think it's working because it's already almost there, right? What I mean by that is things look like finished products when you're working on the computer versus something that's in a sketch form and feels more like there's room to edit and change before things get too serious. So, moral of the story, if that's making any sense at all, is to start sketching first. Which most artists understand that, but I feel like graphic designers, especially young graphic designers, want to go straight to the computer. And there's lots of different philosophies on that. Some people will say, hey, if you work better going to the computer first, then all power to you. If you can create good work that way, then I agree, all power to you. But for most of us, we have to go to sketch first, because most of the time you're just kind of trying things on the computer, and then when you get to something that's working kind of good, then you're like, boom, it's done. Like, yeah, if you print it, oh my gosh, everything looks better after it's printed. Well, that's a lie. Not everything looks better. Some things actually look worse. Like, this photo could look great right here, but if I print this photo out and it's too dark, then it's just gonna look like a big black mob instead of a nice growler design. But for the most part, when you put things and you print it, they do look better. Or like even Photoshop mockups is the easier way of doing that, right? You put everything on a Photoshop mockup and it looks better, which is good for you. Or I mean, it's good and it's bad, right? It looks really good, like if you're doing it for a client presentation, right? Like if you've spent weeks doing this logo for somebody and it's time to kind of show them what you've been working on, throw it on a mockup, 100%. Every time I have not put anything on a mockup, I always have to go back and do some revisions. But when I do mockups, more or less, they like it. Okay, oh, no, I'm on the wrong layer, aren't I? Wanted to do this one. That doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't mind if the same shadow was over there or not, but I mean, let's see if we can do that. Yeah, of course. These, the process that I'm doing now is how those pre-made mock-ups are made, and that's something that I would love to do. It's kind of like a hobby or like a side job, or even like as a, like a business one day, like, is to be making those mock-ups. Because I make my own mock-ups sometimes. So like if I can't find something, I'll be that guy that spends 3 hours in Photoshop trying to make something look good. No crap, I messed that up, didn't I? Let's try that again. Yeah, like, and I know, like, without sounding like a jerk or like a guy that thinks he knows everything, I know how to make stuff look good in Photoshop. And a lot of people, if they can't find a mock-up, they'll try to do it on their own or try something else, and it just ends up looking bad. I'm not even sure if this is going to work out or not, but I thought I would try it. From a distance, it kind of works, but I think it still looks kind of weird. Enjoy it while your student work lasts? What do you mean? You mean I'm gonna hate Photoshop after I'm done with school? Probably, I could see that happening. Let's see if I can bring that line down a little bit to have it match up to here. No, that's not what I want. Why is it? It's automatically masking. Yeah. No, stop doing that. Every time. Right? I'm gonna make a selection. Whatever, I don't know what's going on. Layer mask before removing. No. Trying to decide if it's worth this trouble or not, because I feel like it's going to look phony. I just think that you can still get to put a lot of your own creative into it with your instructor's direction. With clients, sometimes you have to go against what you like, etc. in a big way. And who's to say whether your client will be working? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I think that's part of the trouble too. And I don't know what type of job you're working at, but if you're working in an agency, it's definitely. I have zero agency experience, so I could be wrong, but I feel like more or less you get interesting clients, but if you do come across a client that would be considered not really interesting, then like there's really nothing you can do after it, right? I mean, you're not going to tell your boss, no, I don't want to work on that project, because I mean, that was the project you were assigned to. You know, I don't think it's worth it, so I'm just gonna kind of get rid of that. It's not my favorite highlight, but you know, it's better than nothing. Plus, I mean, like you said, it's gonna be more. Like I was saying earlier, this is gonna be something that's gonna be printed very small on a. Ooh, that was kind of weird, huh? Woo! This is gonna be a small image. This whole thing is probably gonna be about maybe 3 inches tall in my book, at the most. And I'm not going to worry too much about it if it's perfect or not. What I do want to go do now is... I don't think I did an exposure... Sorry if I'm like making you guys sick with all the zooming. I don't think I did an exposure for the wood. I don't even know if it's worth it. I think the wood looks fine. What does the wood look like on these other ones? It's a little bit darker. Yeah, we'll try it. I have it anyways. And the wood one doesn't take a whole lot longer to mask because I can kind of just paint where I want. Let's try it out. This one might be too dark. See, all this has purely passion work and not something new for me. Keep your passion alive. It's important. Oh yeah, thanks for the passion thing. I definitely, this is like, I thought by now in art school that I would be like totally burnt out of this, and there are those nights when you do get tired, like you're staying up all night to work on something, but if you're staying up all night to work on something, that means you're really passionate about it, and I love design. It's amazing. I'm like shocked that I can like I go to work all day, do design, then I come back home and I do design all day, and like I am still thinking about design when I go to sleep, just because I'm like, oh, maybe I should do this, or I really need to do that in the morning. And it's not in a way that I'm like dreading it. It's just in a way that I'm like looking forward to working on it. And oh, this is gonna be too noisy when it. Here, let's see. Did it help at all? To answer your question, I did the illustrations for the yellow one. I did the illustration for the sneaky devil guy back here. If you follow he's a popular streamer too. His name is Evan Eckhard. He did the illustrations for the tiger or the panther and the bear in the background. And these are some illustrations that he did like forever ago. He did these back in, I don't even know what year, maybe like 2013. But I've been following him for a long time, and I loved his work. And I wanted to put it on my... When I realized that I was going to be doing illustrations for these designs, he was the guy I thought of right away. So I messaged him. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm working on a school project. I would love to use your illustrations. Can you send me the files? And he was great. He was like, sure, dude. I'm like, that'd be great. I'm excited. He's like totally for it. And he sent me all the files. He did have another file for a devil that he did end up sending me, but I ended up not using it just because the illustration style was a little bit different. You know, it did all that work, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna keep it with a shadow. I think having a shadow would be cool. I think shadows add a lot of dimension to stuff, but I'm not gonna blow it out as much as I did the first time, just because then it gets really grainy. And highlights, shadows, maybe just a little bit, not so much. That still looks good, huh? Is this the same photo? Yep. Huh. I think that looks fine. But yeah, it was great. It was really nice, and it saved me a whole lot of time, because that devil... I am not an illustrator. I mean, I could... If I work hard, I can make a pretty decent illustration. Or... At least it doesn't look like crap when I make it. But... I would not classify myself as an illustrator, just because it's something that's not really my specialty, and it takes me a long time. And I know this is not the right image, so that's why it's kind of looking weird. You can see, but I'll crop it in. We'll mask this guy out. And now we'll just kind of work on painting this thing. And once we're done with this, then we'll go through with the pen tool and mask out the layer in the background. But more or less, is that wood looks good. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. We'll do the bottle first, because it's more in focus than the background, and when we get to the background... No, wait, we'll do the background first. This recent client needed icons for an app, and it turns out what they were actually looking for is little illustrations that don't even function. What do they want the icons for? Yeah, I think it's just in general, it's nuts on how I don't like the things that the clients think that they want, but it's really nothing close to what they needed. Or how they think that they know everything about design, and they're just there to kind of give you their great idea. some icons for a tennis app, so they needed to be custom, but now explain the ideal icon functions in a way that's recognizable. And gotcha. Well, I mean, sounds like that they really wanted like a detailed icon. Like detailed icons wouldn't even work at such a small size, anyways. And yeah, that's weird. There would be so many issues with having like a detailed illustration for an icon. At least that's what I'm assuming, is they wanted like a full-on illustration. Icons should be like the most abstract form of something possible, with some with it to be like designed like in a way to look like match their visual system and their brand identity. Yeah, it's dumb. that's what I tell myself all the time when people are like asking me for advice, or asking me to make something for them, and they like pitch their idea, and I'm just like, I just smile. Okay. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is dumb. This is not going to work. This is not what you need. You want to fit 5 pages of a Microsoft Word document into one PowerPoint slide? That's good. I'll put everything at point size 6, and then that'll be perfect to read at a presentation. I do a lot of stuff for like work. I do a lot of PowerPoint design for my day job, which is something I didn't even think that I was going to be doing at all. Like they asked me to make something for them. I'm like, okay, I'll make this. I sent it to them. Oh yeah, that's great. Can you make this editable? Editable? Like, what do you need to edit this for? Like, you told me your idea, I made it. Oh, well, we need to change it. Okay. Like, I can make it editable, but it's not gonna look as good. Oh, well, why not? Oh my god, now I'm ranting. Well, I was trying to find like a nice exposure for this wood, and I wasn't able to find something that I really like. But I don't think, at the end, I don't think this. What's this one? Close that. Let me look at some of these other ones I edited already. The wood is kind of more or less the same. I would say this one here is probably the darker one. Let's see if I can just do that with a brightness contrast layer, because I was having a hard time matching the other one, and I think the shadow isn't going to be working for me as much as I thought it would. Can't really tell where the bottom of this is right now. I think I'm not hitting it. Yeah, I missed it. Well, at least, I mean, I know everyone has their struggles, but it's nice to to hear other people's design nightmares. And not that it's like it's a good thing, but it's just, I think it's more or less kind of funny. Like, I think every profession's kind of got their little complaints about clients or their customers. Alright, I think the wood in the bottle look good now. Now we just got to work on the background. The problem is when they just don't trust your opinion. Oh, yeah, That's the thing that I think that's the biggest problem with the design industry is everybody thinks that we're just a pair of hands that know how to use these programs, and we're just kind of taking orders. Oh yeah, you want a lion logo? Okay, I know how to make a lion. I can click and drag and make the paths, and boom, there you go. There's your logo. But they're not expecting us to come up with our own opinions and our expertise. They're not expecting that at all. They just think that we're there to make things look pretty or to visualize their idea, which is not the case at all. Like, I'm going to try something, and I don't know if this is going to work out or not, but I'm kind of hopeful it does. Because if it does, it's going to be easy. I think this could work. Oh my god, look, I didn't even have to do anything to the bottom either. And I'm gonna fix that because it goes from like blurry to like sharp, but that was an easy fix. Holy cow, I did not expect that to be that easy. Okay, what am I doing? Trying to... Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Whew. I was doing Control W, which is close, instead of Control E, which is merge layers. That's what I hate, is how freaking Control W is a thing. Control S is save. Control W is close everything and delete, right? Am I the only one that thinks that's a stupid thing? What do we think? Does this look good? Should I add anything else? Do anything? Oh, I need to go through the healing brush. Again, why am I doing this? Because it looks great on a 5K screen, but when it's printed out by a like a 4:6 image, who's gonna notice? Probably no one. But you know, at least I'll sleep better at night. In all reality, this is for the website, and I don't even know how big this image is going to be on the website, or if it's going to make it to the website or not. But I mean, might as well be detail oriented, right? Plus, you know, if I'm a designer and I get bothered by this stuff, odds are people that are going to hire me get annoyed by this stuff. And if they have less things to get annoyed about in my portfolio, the better, right? Yeah, they hire you as the professional, but sometimes don't allow you to be. Oh, here's a great analogy. And I got this from Chris Do. If you ever watch him, he runs a YouTube channel called The Future. He says if you hire a plumber, you don't hire a plumber and then negotiate on a price, or you tell him, oh, that's too expensive. That's price, right? That's another thing that we get cut out on a lot, is the price. Another thing, or the thing that we're kind of talking about right now, is our expertise. They like come in and tell us what we need to be doing. If you hire a plumber, you don't tell them, oh, you really should be using this wrench instead. No, you don't do that. You know how much of a dick you would look like if you went up to a plumber and started telling him how to do his job? Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is we're not magicians. Okay, this is not what we're doing here. You know what? We're gonna cheat. That's not what I want to do. Boom. I think we're good. Those letters can stay there, I guess. Sorry, I was getting messages from my classmates. Well, my whole class is working on their portfolio right now, and for half the class, they need to send their books to get printed like yesterday, and they're all kind of stressing out about the things that they need to be doing. All right, so people's opinions. Does this photo look good? Looks good. We just got to do the same exact thing again for the backside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save a copy of this as cropped, and then I'll crop it. Yeah, the company that I work for right now is in the middle of a rebranding process, and it's very interesting to kind of hear everyone's opinions on design and stuff, like what the expectation should be. And I'm there like with everything that I've learned from school, kind of like silently thinking to myself like, oh, they have no idea. Maybe revisit the reflection on the other side later. I didn't notice until you tried to fix it, but now, yeah. Yeah, well, I'll revisit that later, like you said. My thing is to kind of keep moving forward because I've got 6 photos, or not 6. Got 4 or 5 other photos that I need to be doing. So, yeah, I'll make a little post-it note of that. How would you say reflection? On growler, front, left. Boom. Post-it note, done. I have all these different post-it notes that I use for things. I don't even know if here, let me, I'll show you guys. Like, I have all these, I didn't even buy these, but I got all these for free, which are like these little post-it note packs. I got all sorts of them because I make post-it notes for everything. If I have an idea or something in the middle of the night, post-it note. If I have like a to-do list that I need to put together, post-it note. What happened to I hit a button when I tried to get the post-it notes, and now my windows are gone. Reset. Alright, now we're back to normal. Alright, well, I'm going to save this as a TIFF for now, but if I have some free time, I'm going to go back and try and fix that reflection just because that's bothering me. This is luckily going to be the small one, so the backside is going to be the one that's blown up. So that one we'll want to make sure looks a little bit better. Here, I'll show you what I mean by this. I'm sure you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about when I say portfolio book, but I'll show you the spreads that have that uses this one here. My portfolio book is like 200 pages right now. I've got 9 projects in it. I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I think the main goal is to kind of get it to be 200 max or under 200. This is the spread, so this one's going to be small, the one that we just did, and then the backside is going to be bigger. But this is what kind of the rest of the project looks like. This is going to be a spread, and I don't know why there's this weird cutout. That's just the preview being weird. But that's the one that I edited the other day, so that this one will be updated. We got sketches. These sort of single shots are going to be the next ones that I have to do. So that's one, two shots, because I already did that one. 3, 4, and then 5, and then oops, 6. This one's probably not going to require a whole lot. I'm going to go through and fix the rub down, because the rub down kind of came off a little bit when I was pouring the beer in. I accidentally got beer on the front, so I tried to gently tap the beer off the front, but I think I picked up a little bit of the rub down. Plus it's been going in and out of the box for half a year now, so it could have been that too. And then this, and then that's that project. Then the next project starts after that. So, all right, we got, what did I say, like 5 or 6 photos left to do. Not too bad. This one here didn't take us too long. How long did it take us? Oh, whew. I'd say it took us about 40 minutes after my 15-minute intro, probably. Is there a lot of written copy for the negative space? No. This is, it's more or less supposed to be kind of like a lookbook. Well, not a lookbook. I think a lookbook is something different, but just sort of like a photo book, right? Like photo books don't have a whole lot of text. At the beginning of this project is this. This is my chapter opener, which has a project overview, a solution, the name of the project, the number of the project, like within that book. And then this is kind of like a little quote about my experience with the project. And these are just the details, like which course it was for, who my instructor was, semester, blah, blah, blah. So all the written copy will be on this. And then after that, the idea is just to have it be photos. So then this would be like the brand kind of like hero shot. Followed by some process. And then we just kind of go into a mixture of photography and vector art for the work. So that's that. And I just noticed something else too. Those purples are different. So that's why I have a lot of negative spaces. My design school is very fond of negative space. How do you feel about making the illustrations larger on this page? I could definitely do that. That was some of the critique that I got. These are some older spreads, and I haven't gone through and edited these yet, but I went to an AIGA portfolio review day this last weekend. It was 1 week ago today, actually. And their critique was, if you're going to show the illustrations as a vector, great, do that, but don't show it as the same exact size that you're showing in the photo, because it doesn't provide anything extra. If you're going to show it, blow it up. Really kind of celebrate that illustration. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up doing that. My concern with that, though, is then it kind of gets to be kind of ping-pongy between the photo and the illustration. It starts to kind of lose the hierarchy there, but won't really know until we try it out. Alright, so we did this one. Why does this still look crooked? Maybe it's a little crooked, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, so we saved that guy. This one's done. Now we'll start on the backside. It's okay to look back and forth in kind of a photo book. Okay, I can see that. Why am I not finding this image? Where is it? Oh, here it is. So, what's your kind of where are you kind of in your design career? You a student? It sounds like you have a lot of experience. So I would assume that you're kind of like out of school for some time now. Keeps them looking longer, even in my opinion. Okay. Oh, cool. Do you you were talking about doing apps. Do you do mainly UX UI, or do you play in other areas of design? Like for me, I mean, obviously, I'm a soon-to-be graduate from art school, and what happened to? Oops, sorry, that was weird. I got stuff going on this other side of the screen that you guys don't see, and half my windows just disappeared. You do everything. Wow, okay. Doing it professionally for 5 years. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been doing kind of design on and off or not on and off. I've been doing it. I think I started. This is like from like starting to use Photoshop and like my first paid project as a designer. I think probably 9 years or so. Because I mentioned a little bit. I used to do like the whole gaming videos, right? And along with that came with people wanting cool backgrounds, right? Like you had to have a YouTube background for your channel. And I would make myself a banner, and I would make my friends a banner. And then I just had a lot more fun making banners than I did playing the video games. So then I started just making speed art videos, which is where you just kind of record your process and you combine that and condense it down to like 2 minutes, and then you upload that and put some music behind it. Had fun doing that, and that's what started my design career. Oh wow, so you've been doing it since you're young. Yeah, I'm 24, and so we're probably around the same age. I started doing design when I was like 13. So maybe, yeah, 13, 14, high school, right? Yeah, I think 13, 14 is when you start high school. Yeah, it's been fun. I've had a blast. I've done a lot. I know a lot of people in the gaming kind of sphere for design. Oh, I gotta fix that. What happened there? This label got torn up. Damn, okay. And I was noticing down here there was a smudge, so it might be a little tricky to fix all that, but we'll see. And then there's all this stuff here. What happened to these? You know, I left these at my school because it was at the school spring show, and I think that they totally messed these up. Did you ever make signature images for message boards? Signature images for message boards. Do you mean like the big signs outside of high schools? I don't know what that means, or what you're referring to by that. Uh, you can try doing a link. I don't think I have links turned off, or at least I never did anything like that. I mean, I could try to look at it too. If it blocks you from linking, let me know, because then I'll have to go into the settings and try to figure that out. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about just like a little profile picture? Oh, what is this? So that'd be like posted underneath somebody's comment on something like a forum or something like that? Oh, that's cool. I've never been that. I mean, I know like forums and like Reddit's like a huge part of the internet, and like you refer to those things sometimes if you're having like issues. But I've never been somebody to use that. I've just, or be like the one that constantly goes onto those things. I think the closest thing to what I use it for is Wowhead, and I just like look at like comments for like how to find things and. But I mean, I didn't even see what games those are for that you have. There's a Halo. I think that's Halo. Could be wrong. Gears of War. Is that Halo or Dead Space? I don't know. Kind of looks like Dead Space a little bit. I was looking at this blue one over here. I should bring it on the stream so other people can see. Oh, there's a Halo one, right? That's Master Chief. Anyways, yeah, cool stuff. Oh, you didn't make those ones. Okay, gotcha. If you want to look at my old stuff, this is... Let me, I think I still have a Carbon-Made account somewhere. Yeah. Because I don't even know how old this stuff is here, but this was like very like my first year of design. I thought I had more updated stuff on a different account somewhere, but this is like real. Like I would make YouTube banners like this, and the big thing to do was do flares and like fire and explosions and sparks. That was like the popular thing. And these sort of like just these little like layers of metal, or I don't even know what I was trying to make, but this is like the popular stuff, and I thought I had better stuff on here. Graphic art, what is this? Holy crap, this is like really, really old stuff. My god, that was terrible. I thought this was cool because it was 3D. No, I thought this was cool just because it had like I found like vector bullets in the background. Oh my god. I remember I was so excited when I made this one. Yeah, tech type stuff. If you go into my YouTube channel, it's Riizu1, R-I-I-Z-U-1. There's a lot of old stuff that I did. I was on several different design teams. I had a clan that I was the owner of called Gear. So I did mainly like gaming for them, but I did the editing, and I don't know if you were into the whole Call of Duty scene or not, but I did like the editing and graphics for that team, and then I quit that team. That team like died and came back several different times, and I was always the one that was always on it, so eventually I worked my way to being just the owner. wasn't too big though. We had a lot of our members go to bigger teams like Darth or Dare. I don't know if you even know if those teams are still around. The one thing that I do know is I turned down FaZe Apex from my clan. If you know who FaZe is, FaZe Apex is like one of the leaders of FaZe now, and I remember forever ago he like commented on one of our videos and he wanted to join our team, and I told him no because he wasn't that good at the time, and now he's like blown up to be like this millionaire that just makes gaming videos all day. Oh well, could have gotten in on the ground floor with that. If I did that though, I probably wouldn't have been going to design school, and I don't know what type of retirement plan those people have. Oh, Counter-Strike is one of those games that I've never played. I've always seen like CS:GO, and I know it's like really popular, and I've gotten away from Call of Duty. I think the last couple of years I haven't played them. The last one that I really got into was Black Ops 3. But now I'm more of a PC guy. I've always been a fan of World of Warcraft, which I know is like the total nerdy game to play, but that's always been something that I've enjoyed. But I've never been able to. I'm not gonna say I've never been able to get into them, but I've never played the Counter-Strikes or those types of games before. But I heard they're fun. Yeah, I'm mainly PC now. I got a gaming laptop and been having a lot of fun with that. Play World of Warcraft, Overwatch, PUBG, and Fortnite. Those are the main 4 that I play. But I haven't really been able to do a whole lot lately just because, you know, art school. Haven't played League of Legends. I do play Hearthstone, but not so hardcore. That's kind of like the thing I do when I'm bored and I'm on my iPad and I play Hearthstone. It's a fun game, but I'm not like the guy that has a really cool deck or anything like that. Don't play League of Legends though. Is that game still free? I remember when that game came out, and that's gotten really popular. My favorite game, though, aside from like World of Warcraft or Overwatch, is definitely Battlefield. I play that on console. I could probably get it from my gaming PC, but I don't know if I'm got the power for that. Plus, I don't want to buy a $60 game if I already have it. Battlefield is like one of my favorite games. I've definitely... And I think that's why I got rid of Call of Duty too, was just because it's more of a fast-paced game. Yeah, don't play it, you'll become addicted. Yeah, see, that's the problem. And then you could say the same thing about WoW too, is World of Warcraft. It's not really a video game as much as it is a part-time job. And that's kind of why I get bored or just like lose the motivation to play, is just because I have so much I need to be doing in WoW, and it's like, oh, I haven't touched professions at all since I started playing this new expansion, and I get distracted and I like start leveling up new characters, and then my max level ranks don't get the gear, and it's like, how do you expect to do all this stuff when you're only playing like 2 or 3 hours a week? 2 or 3 hours a week gets you like not even halfway through the raid. There'll be time for that when I'm done with school. Soon enough. That's what I'm excited about. People say that college is like, oh, enjoy college and school. It's once you get out there to the real world, then it'll get tough. When I get to the real world, I get to go to work to 9 to 5, and guess what I get to do when I come home? I get to relax. When I come home from work now, I'm up all night till 10, 11, even like past that most of the time. I'm working on my schoolwork. And I'm not like, don't want to complain or be that guy that just complains about having to come home and use his fancy computer to go to a fancy art college, and because that just makes it sound like I'm not grateful. And I realize that you got to do the work and it pays off. But man, am I looking forward to this break when I'm done. And it's not like the other breaks too, where you're like spending your half of your break wondering, oh man, is there anything I could be doing to prepare for this next semester? It's got other things to worry about now. I have played the Kerning game. You want me to play it right now? See how well I can do. I had to do this in type 1. I can never, like, this is gonna make me look like a bad designer because kerning is like something I'm not the best at. I think, can you use the, oh, you can use the buttons. I think that's good. Can I move this one? Oh, I can. Or was I supposed to move them all, or was I just supposed to move the A? I think those look too close. Wave. Maybe that goes back over one. Compare. A 59? What? Okay. Oh, this is gonna make me, like I said, it's gonna make me look bad because I feel like kerning isn't. I can make it look good, but I don't know what this game wants me to have it. Like the exact measurements is gonna be very discouraging. Like I feel like that looks okay because you want the Y to be closer because there's that space on the inside of the T, and then I feel like the P needs to be closer to the Y. I click both at the same time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's try that. Oh man, I really need to move the Y over. See, I had a hunch that it needed to be closer in, but it felt kind of weird. Oh my gosh, dude. What's your score? My score is going to be terrible. Oh yeah, this looks fine right here. Compare now. Nope. Oh, I got a good one on this one. 100, yeah! Finally got one right. A weight. Oh no, it's a weight. Oh. Way too close. Oh. Oh, there's 10. Okay, I didn't know how many there were. Oh, this one's hard. I forget the name of a company, but Wolfgang Weingart was... I think it was him. He had a design company, and the design company had a really weird name, and it was like really impossible to kern to make it look good. Like it was just a really bad set of letters. And like when he would hire a new designer, the very first thing that he would have him do was kern the name of the company. And how well they did was determine like how well they were doing. See, this is hard because it's tracked out. I don't think I'm going to get this right. Oh, that works. Okay, cool. You get 98 on them all? Dude, you kicked my ass on the first couple ones then. This looks like a ligature. Okay, so now we know that things got to be closer underneath those kind of caps. And these are small caps too, which makes, I don't know if that changes it or not. Typesetting is tricky for sure, and you can go either way on slide. Yeah, true. See, that's why I was saying, is like, I don't know what this game wants, what they think these are supposed to be compared to what looks good. Well, small caps need to be tracked out anyways, so these should be farther apart. What are your thoughts on small caps? I was told that if you do small caps, the first letter doesn't be big like this. It's like a stylistic choice, but I was told that when you do small caps like this, they all be lowercase, because that's how you do small caps, right? You got to have them be lowercase, and then you click small caps. But if you have an uppercase within the small cap setting, then you kind of get this, where it extends to the full cap height. Yes. Let's try. No, damn. Maybe you should be the one streaming. But I don't think you can say that these look bad after I'm done with them. I think it's just not their exact measurements, because I mean, I would be happy to put this on a piece of paper, but I mean, like, I don't know what it looks like printed either. When you're doing things for the web, like for web design, I don't think you have a whole lot of you can't do a whole lot with like this sort of like intricate type design, like typesetting, which is like kerning, and I don't think you can do that with like web design. I mean, you might be able to do it for like standalone images, like if you're just uploading a JPEG or a PNG. See, I want these to be closer, but there's more space to fill up. So these are like tracked out. Because these S's should be kind of close together, and then I feel like this O should be closer to the R. I'm hitting the wrong button. That's why nothing's going anywhere. Let's try this. Yeah, I got 100. Why is it giving me 100 when there's a little bit of blue still, though? The idea is just trying to imagine them being filled up with the same amount of sand in between the letters. Oh, okay. That's a good way of thinking of it. Small caps appearance on some fonts isn't as extreme as difference in height, I mean. Okay. Some fonts have a solid metric kerning built in already. Yeah. When you're in InDesign and you change the kerning, you can do optical or metric. I've always been told when you're doing large type, you need to do... I hate this. I think these types of fonts, typefaces, whatever, I think that when the U and the I come up like that, just connect them, make it a ligature. I know this is a game, but I'm trying to think what the flow of that line would be. I think that's right. This is probably too close. So the flow of that I is there. Flow of that J would be kind of there. Oh no, that looks all too spaced out. Damn. Okay, hold on. I think that looks fine. Oh, I got that one. Perfect. See, I'm good with the sans serifs. Or the serifs, I mean. That's taking me a while. Just throw optical on. Exactly. For large bodies? but the larger text manual kerning is required. I would say that, like, if I'm doing like a big, if this was just gonna be the main thing that I put on a spread and that's it, I would start off with optical and then I would move to like if I notice, like if this is where optical got me, then I would like say maybe move this or move that, whatever. This is just a funky typeface to begin with. This is ugly. I don't feel like there's enough space for the space. Is this one word or is this two? This is one word, huh? Why am I treating this like two words? Meta Black, Eric Speakerman. He's a popular designer too. Like, maybe I just don't like his style. Like headings, manual kerning, paragraphs at 12 point or something. Through optical. Oh, Yeah, humanistic type sounds right. Well, that's weird. Like if I were doing a paragraph, I would do metric, not optical. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what I was taught. Yeah, this whole thing feels spaced out more on the left than the right. But I'm just going for it. Oh, cool, 100%. Sweet. Toronto. Toronto. Oh my god, I did terrible on this one. But how did I get such a high score? Everything needed to be shifted over to the left. Okay, last one. Let's go for 100% here. Yeah, I mean, like if you get like a nice typeface family, like if you actually pay for it, or one that's kind of got the full family with it, you can kind of more or less assume that it's got good kerning already. If you get anything from like your Dafont or Font Squirrel, which I don't recommend anyways, is you're not going to get good pretty much anything. You're just going to get some cool font that will probably be good for a scrapbook. Xylophone. Isn't this a weird spelling of xylophone? Like, xylophone's such a weird... I got a 0? What? Like, how did I get a 0? Okay, this game's rigged. It's rigged. I should give up now. 2 weeks away from graduation, I should just quit design. This is what you wanted. You wanted to humiliate me on my own stream, huh? No, it's cool. It's fun. You know, it'd be cool to do other design games like that. I think I definitely want to like try and find more design games like that. I don't know if there are. I think there was ones for like how picky you are. Like they'll show you like 9 squares of like green blocks, and it's like pick which one's not the same exact green. I always tend to do good with those. But I don't know if that's like a design specific game or just like an OCD type of thing. Because I feel like all designers are more or less OCD about some things. And a lot of popular web fonts around. Oh, maybe I'm just underestimating the kind of like the integrity of a font squirrel. What is that? Can Healing Brush do it? Oh, Healing Brush didn't do that bad of a job. What happened there? Come on. Why is it doing that? Okay, I don't know what the deal is with these masks. There's a pen to all man. The Bezier game. Is that how you say it? Bezier curves. Get started. Oh man. Well, there's the thing with this one is it's kind of hard because I mean, like in here, let me zoom in. Can I zoom in at all? Maybe not. In Illustrator, you can like hold Shift, or they even have like the curve pen tool. I don't see why this is. See, then you can't even. Hold Alt. I think this one's a little bit dumb. I know you should be able to create a perfect circle. Maybe I just gotta follow those. Oh, you can hold Shift? Did I miss something? How do I go back? Undo. No. Well, this one's kind of dumb because it just tells you. How do you... If I go like that... How do I... Did I miss the tutorial or something? Oh my god, I gotta... Oh, snap to angle up here? Yeah. Alright, well at least I know... So it's this method.ac is that has all the games. Let's see. I'm determined to get this now. I feel like it's cheating because it's already got these grayed out things up here. Unlink control points. What is that? Shift? Or is that control? Yeah, I can't figure... I'm trying to, like... Oh, well. I know how to use the pen tool, guys. I've been doing it all day on this frickin' photo. You're stuck on the same one? Yeah, see, okay, so there's something weird about it. I was just... Because you know how you can do, like, the pen tool, right? And you go like this. But then if you want to get rid of that angle, all you do is hit Alt. And then you click. That's what I was trying to figure out, but you can't use it on there. Alright, sorry, I was looking over here, trying to find some other photos that I could add to this. I think, oh, I still need to do the label. Label. What was this one for? I think I was trying to get the bottle cap, but I think the bottle cap looks fine. Here it is. It's making everything look good, but it's really bringing out some scuff marks in here. If I knew this label looked that bad, I would have reprinted it. Well, this one's gonna require more Photoshop editing than the other labels did. This one here we don't need. The background on this one looks a little bit nicer, and the wood too. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I forgot to take an allergy pill today. Do you guys get allergies at all? I get like really bad allergies this time of year. Then I'm like sneezing and everything. This would look really nice as a close-up too. Like that. Maybe that would be an interesting spread, but my teacher likes the spread as is already, so maybe best not to switch it up too much. I have an instructor who is a great designer. She was in, she's older, she's done design her whole life, and she can just see things like you wouldn't believe. Like she can like come into your class, not like have any idea what you're doing, and like if you're in a different class, come into your class, never have seen your project before, and give you like the greatest feedback that really helps bring their project to life. And she also has the ability to like, oh, you have a widow, you should fix that, or just whatever, you know. And getting her to like one of your designs is great, because that means that you're doing something good. Let's try this. See what happens if you use the healing brush and just go like that. Yeah, that's not gonna. This one here is going to be harder to edit. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. Oh, this one here looks like it rubbed up against the bottle, because you can see the yellow. This one's here is kind of weird. This got turned into red. And I think this was actually just bad printing. No, it's kind of pixelated, but hold on. Bear with me. I think this is worse than a scuff on the label, because then this just shows that you did not design this properly, which means you didn't account for the reverse type bleeding in like this. Now do the G. Yeah. I think the G is fine. I did fix it a little bit. The E is standing out now. You can't tell if these T's had feet or not, but we gotta keep it consistent now. There we go. See, the small details, like what was I working on? Boom. The tiny littlest details right there. Making sure that 2 pixels of the M don't close in. I'm not even gonna worry about this stuff here. Maybe I'll just stamp that out. This bottle took some damage. Here, I'm bringing out the tablet. It's too many times to click on this stuff. I don't have the big tablet. I just have the small little Wacom. Wacom? Wacom? What do you call it? That's something I've never been able to figure out. My desk isn't big enough. The thing with this tablet is it screws me up because every single time I'm streaming, I have the 2 monitors on, and then it like this small, like what is it, like 8-9 inches width of a tablet, and it's trying to cover these 2 screens. Every time I change it in the settings to just map to only 1 screen, it never stays. So I've just kind of given up. That's why I don't use the tablet so much. But on instances like this, it makes sense. Because the harder you press, the more it kind of like puts out, like if you have a lower opacity. Versus if you do it with a mouse, you just have to click more times. See, like, look, if I push harder, then it fills in faster. You have an artifact now when he's just stamped out that text? Where? You talking about this small text down here, the address, or are you talking about somewhere else? I don't see anything. Opaque. Sorry, I'm not following. Is the word opaque somewhere? No. Yeah, I don't know. If you're talking about like the little like glitches that happen every once in a while, that happens every once in a while. I think it just might be like the computer being slow or something like that. But it normally only stays for a little bit and then it goes away. I think we were kind of experiencing the same kind of weird issue when I was just previewing some of my photos and then there were like these weird cutouts. Taking out this tablet was an amazing idea. Opaque was the word you were looking for when describing... Oh, yeah. Thank you. Sorry, there's a small delay on my end, so I think it's like a 10-second delay or so, which is not good. I know my internet is not the best, but, you know, I don't really... anything I can do about that right now. But something I want to, if I'm gonna start streaming more, which is the plan, I want to look into fixing the internet, and then maybe I have a small, like, tiny little softbox right now behind the screen, but I want to work on really kind of fixing up this setup here. See, we spent so much time on all the other designs on other things, but this is the one that's gonna take us forever just because of all these fixes that we gotta do. I'm not even spending time on like the actual stuff I need to fix. This is like, you know, I need to fix all this, but what I meant was just the background, etc. was all the other main stuff. Alright, I think we're good. Maybe just go in here with the healing brush now, and I was using the clone stamp tool before. I think the rest of the stuff we can just... And then the tablet's giving me crap now. You can just kind of fix this stuff now. We are masking this out. That looks better. Yeah, I know, I get it. I wanted to start doing all this stuff earlier today, but then I made breakfast, watched a couple episodes of Game of Thrones, played some WoW, and then I didn't really get started on anything until like 12:40. Oh, I even have messed up glass. And this bottle took a beating. I don't think I wiped this thing down before I photographed it. Oh my god. Why am I making more work for myself? What I always like to do is get rid of the photo, or get rid of any fingerprints or anything. Any sort of dust. I get like a glasses cleaner, wipe it down, and then I get like one of those spray cans of air, and then I spray it down to get whatever sort of dust off that's on it from the glasses cleaner. And then I photograph it, because like, look, I have all these little fibers right here. Whatever, it's not the end of the world. Okay, it's more fun watching other people work, huh? Yep. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'll do. Like when I'm at work, is I'll watch other people work. I'm actually going to bring in our other file that we just did. I'm going to bring in that same brightness contrast so that way it's a little consistent. Could I use the same exact thing? No, it's not going to work. Not for the bottle though, but I could use the same background line, the horizon line. No, it's just easier to do the whole thing over again. Yeah, I'll definitely watch other people that work, and then I get inspired from that. I know I'm supposed to be using the other one, but I think I kind of like this for everything. Because when I watch other people work, I get inspired. Did I say that already? Sorry, if you haven't noticed yet, but when I start like focusing on something, I get focused, and like I've always been like that. Even when I was gaming, I would be like trying to make live commentaries, because that's when those things started getting popular. And I would like try to make a recording of something playing video games, and I would go back and watch my video later, and I'd be like, gee, did I say anything the entire 2 hours I was recording? Because I would just like get focused and I wouldn't talk. I don't know why I'm like that. Nope, I don't want 5, I want 25. Then I'll just reverse that, and then I got the wood texture. Yeah, it's pretty normal, getting inspired from other people working, you get ideas, and the main thing I like about watching other people is, especially like I was talking about earlier, Evan, is I feel like I know a lot about these programs. I've been using these programs for the better part of the last 2 decades, and well, that's saying a lot. right? Because I'm only 24. What I mean is, like, since I was like 13 or so I guess only like a decade or so. For the last decade, I've been using these programs, and I feel like I know a lot about them. But every single time I watch him do something, I'm always learning something new. I'll be like, oh, that's an easier way of doing that, or I didn't know that was a shortcut. And you just learn things from other people. Like, I could be doing something a lot different than how you would have done it, and then you might say, oh, hey, that's an easier way of doing it. Or on the flip side, you can come say, hey, you're doing that the long way. You could be doing it a lot easier by doing it this way. It's the great part about collaborating with people. Okay, the problem is the bottom of this bottle now is way too freaking dark. Because if I weren't streaming, I'd be quiet unless you talk to yourself first. Yeah. Thanks. I like the map on the back too. These are and the reason why, if you're wondering what this big blank space is right up here, this would, I don't even know if it's worth writing something in here or not, but the idea was this would be a growler, and if you were going to write something on it, you would be like the name of the beer, you'd be like Zest Noir, and you would write it in Sharpie, but I think that looks bad, so we're not going to do that. But the idea is that would be like the name of the beer, and perhaps I needed to have that somewhere on here. Maybe I could Photoshop it in. Beer, oh, that's way too big. Beer name. And this was in, oh, this is going to be hard to remember the exact one, but it was Knockout. Knockout. If you've ever used the typeface called Knockout, there's like so many different weights. There's like, and they have fun names too. They're like flyweight, welterweight. It's just different levels of being condensed, of it being condensed. So I think maybe if we use that same typeface, it's probably like 11. Let's try this and see what happens. We'll rasterize that. the center though, huh? How would you describe it? Would you describe beer as like a flavor, a specific brew, or is just beer name work? Beer name? Name of beer. Transform. We'll do warp. We'll arc this a little bit. I think it might just be okay to leave it out altogether. Yeah, I agree. Alright, well I think then we are done with this one. I think I did everything I needed to do. What is this? Oh, that's a piece of sawdust or something? These were actually hard. I think these were like fence panels or I was gonna say hardwood floor panels, but these were way too rough. I think these were panels for like a fence, and I went to Home Depot and I got them, and they just cut them up into short segments, and I was able to use it for this. Alright, well I'm gonna save this here as cropped. Then we'll go in and crop it. And just because I'm curious, I want to try this out. See how well content aware works for us. Oh. Content aware will like use the computer, like AI or whatever, to automatically generate more space around the photo. Like if you crop beyond what the photo actually was, you can use content aware. And sometimes it works. I don't think it's going to work too well for this. Maybe it'll work better for the top than the bottom. It worked really good for some other products that I had that I just photoshopped. It was just like on a blank background. It's going to take forever and I don't feel like it's going to work. I'll show you the photo that it worked for. Nope, not that one. Actually, I think I did use it for this one too. But yeah, these ones here were just all photographed on a blank white background. I mean, it was kind of more a cream background, but it ended up working out really well for those ones. Oh, this is the one. This one here was only like that much of the photo. Like, imagine the photo being cropped out right by the rock. And I just expanded it out and it did this. I did a little bit of touch up, but more or less this is what it looked like. It's still fairly young technology. I forgot which version it was introduced in. CS. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Photoshop has come such a long way in the short time that I've been using it, but there's definitely going to be so many things that Photoshop can do later on that I don't even want to know, like, what's going to happen to the design industry. Just, is it going to make it easier on us, or is it going to make it harder for us just because it's going to take up a lot of our work, and maybe we have to start charging less, or I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with all the technology. Oh, CS6. When did that come out? I don't even know what we're on right now because I use CC, so I don't even know which number would be the full program. Or I think this is the full you know what I mean? Like, if you were to buy the program, it would be CS number, and then the only reason why I wanted to add top and bottom was because I wanted to see if I could add a little bit more space around the product in my spread. What the hell is that? That didn't do anything. I think it needs to be a flattened layer for it to work. Oh well, I'm not even gonna mess with it. It looks good to me now. I think it's gonna work out just fine. Nope, don't want that. Save it as a TIFF, not with layers. Save, okay. That's what I'm dealing with. I got the spinning wheel of death. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got this photo here. This is going to be our main photo. This is a beautiful shot. I really like this one here. We got this photo. We have this photo here. The editing on this one's a little weird. I think I need to go fix the white balance. Yeah, I definitely got to fix the white balance. But then we just finished up this one here. And then we also have this one here. So we're making good progress. I'm getting tired. I need to go get some food. And I think I'm going to kind of end it off there. But we definitely have some more stuff to do. I will be finishing up these editing the photos later on. But I also need to do all that process for like 2 solid colors. Colors or photos? But yeah, that was quite a bit of work. That was about an hour a photo, right? Crazy. But I mean, I was just talking through it too, so it might have been less time once I was if I were to not kind of like commentate over the whole thing. But I also am going to start working on my website. My website's going to be coming along pretty good. I have a kind of like a rough idea for it right now. I'll kind of here. Let me show you what I have so far. So this is where I'm kind of at so far on my website. I don't know if it's blurry or not on the stream or not, but This is still a work in progress. These are all placeholder images still, but the idea is to have this be like the homepage, right? It's got a little blurb. I still need to work on the text. This isn't final. But this is the homepage. This is kind of what the navigation looks like. I'm using a theme because I'm not a web designer. I don't know how to do all this code. If I were to code this, it would be a pretty simple website. But the idea is just to have it be as clean as possible. But this would be the homepage. All my projects would be here. Some of them would kind of utilize these GIFs to make it kind of a little bit more animated, not just a static image. It took forever to process the content aware to only put two. Oh, right. It was like a weird gradient thing. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was doing. But yeah, this would be kind of like a hover effect. I'd be able to click on this, and then it takes me to the project. And then that quote that was on that chapter opener that I showed you earlier would appear up here. And then along with the description of the project, all the other information. And then these would just be really big images. And this is the only projects that I've put in so far. But it would just be full screen images. You can't click on them or anything because they're already full screen. And I like that the theme doesn't allow you to save the image because I don't want people stealing my work. When you could just take a screen capture, but I don't know. You can't save the photo. And then that's pretty much what the kind of flow would be like. Then you can click this and it goes back up to the top real quick. But yeah, that's my website. And then I don't know if it's worth streaming or not, but what I just showed you on the home screen, and then even just that page there too, is I need to take all my projects and save them for a website format. Like this is a different format than the big screens or the big images. And it's also a GIF, so that there's a little bit of work that goes into making that. So would that be interesting at all for you guys to kind of just see me take all my photos, and maybe some of them I would have to create some sort of a composition. Other ones would just be seriously just me throwing into that format and then saving, and then just kind of collecting a whole bunch of different files for the website, because that's going to take me at least an hour or two to save that for all my projects. But I don't know if that's interesting for you to kind of see what all the projects look like as I'm doing that, or if that's something that's not that interesting at all. But yeah, this is kind of the next step after I'm done with the book. I mean, I need to get these photos done for both the website and the book, but that's pretty much that's pretty much where I'm at. So yeah. A snooze fest, is that what that is? You've been procrastinating on updating your own website? Yeah, dude, my website is I've had to update it for so long now. I just have a construction page up on mine right now. But in the next month or so, because I need to have all this stuff done by next month. This time next month, I'll be done with everything. I'll have a book and everything done. So, but, I mean, this is kind of where I'm at now. So, thank you guys for stopping by the stream. It was nice talking with you. I don't know how to say your name. Madrugada? That sounds right. Madrugada. Okay. Thank you, dude, for stopping by the stream. It's been great talking with you. I'm really looking forward to talking to you and some other people in the future streams. But yeah, this was a fun stream. I had a lot of fun doing this. It was nice to kind of go through and get these couple of these photos done, and I have a couple more to do. And then I think that's kind of the bulk of my photo editing work. I have another project I need to photograph, but if all goes well, I'm not gonna have to edit that too much. Maybe just kind of Photoshop out the background and change the color or something like that. But this has kind of been the main sort of compositing photograph with this. Oh my god, that was a voice crack. Main compositing for photographs, which I think is pretty interesting because most people don't do that. Most people would have taken that very first image that we started with, fixed the brightness and contrast, and then called it good. Could I have done that? Yes. Would people have cared? Maybe not. Probably not. but makes me feel better. I take a lot of pride in sort of those small details and the little nuances, and I think that's really what design is all about. Is about the details and the nuances, and I think if someone's like-minded like me, they would appreciate that. So, anyways, okay, good luck with your work. Sorry that I can't prolong your procrastination, but I'm sure you got it. All right, you sound like you know what you're doing. But yeah, thank you guys all again, and I'll see you guys on the next stream.